sentence you to life in confinement without parole.
That's f***ing horse shit. You do whatever the f*** you want.
Why are they shutting my mic off?
I'm the federal witness of the United States federal government. I demand some goddamn respect, you. All I did was trespass on property.
Ma'am, you gotta create the community that you want to live in.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Concerns about your ability to understand. That's why I'm appointing a lawyer. Thank you.
So it should be probation. It's just,
Here's a listing. Next person I'm addressing is Shaquem Liggins. Liggins, thank you. I'm sorry, what is it? You'll need to speak louder.
What did you say?
What is your name?
Hakeem Liggins?
Mr. Liggins, you're here for a charge of disorderly conduct. This is a misdemeanor offense. State any objection to a time-served offer?
No, that's all right.
State?
Your Honor, State wasn't conveying an offer at this time. Due to it being arguably a battery, there were two individuals. So the State would like to get the input of the other individual.
There is no offer on your case at this time. Your bond is $250. Can you afford that bond?
You said, I thought you said time served.
I said any objection. Defense?
Okay.
I'm going to appoint a
this
public
This is something that I can get a fine for. There's no, you cannot hold me
Thank
for.
you for that information. I'm appointing a public defender based on the mental health hold from yesterday.
Okay.
Defense, how do you want me to proceed? Defense counsel?
you can set the bond, that's fine, Your Honor. Comp evals pending with our office.
Okay, then I'm going to do mental health pretrial release.
Or the bond, Your Honor?
Modified to $100 based on the prior FTAs. Thank you.
Also, my name is Hakeem Liggins, LLC, and I will be sending contract services invoice to the City of Orlando Treasurer.
Thank you so much.
For a Lowe's renovation
Next person we're
approval.
going to
I'm a
address
building
is
official.
Devon Morris. Corrections, you can go ahead and remove him from the courtroom. He has counsel. We'll pass on Morris. Next person I'm addressing is Nestor H. Espona. Esharte Espona.
That's the Spanish, Your Honor.
Okay, we only had one domestic.
You should have more.
Morris, we're passing on. What's your name? Let's switch to interpreter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jaime Sotomayor, certified federal interpreter, already sworn today. 1 second while I connect to the headset. We're connected, Your Honor.
Ms. Soto, do you need an interpreter?
Señora Soto, ¿usted necesita intérprete?
No, I don't need it,
All right, thank you.
but I can hear her.
Thank you. Sir, what is your name?
Nestor Echartes.
Nestor Echarty.
2022 CF 4587. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your criminal charges?
Bueno, yo pienso pagarlo, no sé.
Well, I was thinking of retaining one. I don't know.
If you feel you can't afford one, I can see if you qualify for the public defender, which you do. Do you want a public defender to assist you now?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll appoint a public defender. Sir, I find probable cause for a charge of aggravated assault. It is domestic in nature. Ma'am, you've already been sworn in. Please tell me what your name is.
My name is Lourdes Soto Nazario.
How do you know Nestor?
A what? A what?
How were you,
How I know him?
yes, how do you?
Okay. We know 6 years ago. We lived together.
Okay, so you're his girlfriend and you live together?
Yes.
Do you want to have contact?
Yes.
Do you want him to return home?
I need a request. I need a request first.
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
I have a request.
What is your request?
His issues is alcohol. What I'm begging, because that's the reason I'm here. I'm here to beg the court and to your honor to put him in a program.
I cannot put him in a program at this point. I can order that he has no alcohol or drug use. But at this time, I cannot order him into a program. State, do you have any questions for Ms. Soto?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions for Ms. Soto?
No question, Your Honor.
Because Ms. Soto and Mr. Ascarte, I cannot order him in a program, and I have concerns about your safety. I'm ordering no contact. I'll allow you to return to your home just one time to collect your belongings, Mr. Espinosa, but you need to be accompanied by a police officer. I'm also court ordering that you not possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. Again, no contact with Ms. Soto, and you're not to possess any weapons. Weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. Soto, I've heard your request, and based on that, I've ordered no contact and no consumption. Do you have any questions?
No.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Espinosa?
No.
So you're maintain a separate residence, one-time return with a police officer. I'm going to set your bond at $1,500. Thank you. Carlos Rodriguez. Is Gerardo Santana or Talia Santana present?
Gerardo Santana o Talía Santana están presentes.
Mr. Rodriguez, you are here for a crime of battery, domestic violence. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case? The lawyer would be from the Public Defender's Office.
Obey.
Okay. Yes.
I'll appoint a public defender. Sir, I find probable cause for the charge of battery, domestic violence. You're to have no contact with either the victim or witness. You are not to possess any weapons. You must maintain a separate residence from the victim and witness. I'll allow a one-time return so long as you're accompanied by a police officer. And I'm setting bond at $750. All weapons, ammunition, and that includes firearms, need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail, Mr. Rodriguez. Anything else, defense counsel?
Further, Your Honor.
Thank you.
The interpreter needs the case number, Your Honor.
Sure, it was 2022 MM. Yes, please.
22 MM 2649AO.
Thank you, Madam Charles.
Thank you.
Is your name Olivan Calix?
Sí, mi nombre es Holvin Daniel Cales. Sí, mi nombre es Holvin Daniel Cales.
Yes, my name is Orvin Daniel Callis.
Case number 2022 CT 199, Osceola County.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, there was a noise on the line. I couldn't hear the number.
2022 CT 199 from Osceola County.
Thank you.
Sir, you're here for a charge of driving with license suspended with knowledge. There is a warrant for your arrest out of Osceola County. You do have a bond of $2,000. Do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case?
Sí estaría bien, un abogado,
Yes, that would be fine to have a lawyer.
sobre este caso yo fui arrestado el 20 de diciembre
But about this case, I was already arrested on December 20th.
y no entiendo
Then
por
you
qué me
missed your
están
court date.
acusando otra vez de
Yeah.
caso. No, yo estaba preso aquí en Orange County.
No, but I was detained here in Orange County.
Counsel, if you see anything and he's still in bond tomorrow, go ahead and set it for hearing and trial judge.
Of course, Your Honor.
That concludes your hearing. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning. Can you tell me what your name is?
Michael De Leon.
Michael De Leon.
Mr. DeLeon, you're here for a crime of possession of a controlled substance. Do you need a lawyer to help you with this criminal charge?
Sí.
Yes.
I'll appoint a public defender to help you with this case. Defense counsel, he was originally given pretrial release on this matter. He is entitled to some terms of release in case 2022 CF 3870, but he's already out on bond for possession of cocaine in 2022, I'm sorry, strike that, 2021 CF 1467880. State what is going on with that felony case or defense. He has a public defender.
In his out on bond, the 2021 case, state has not filed. The date of arrest on that was in November of 2021. And date of arrest in this instant case is December of 2021. So state's not going to take no action on his out on bond as we have not filed.
Hence, do you want to be heard?
I would concur with the state.
Okay, I'll take no action on the out on bond. On the new charge, I'm going to modify bond to monetary bond of $500 plus pretrial release with the condition of no possession of no drugs or drug paraphernalia or use of the same. That concludes your case, Mr. DeLeon. Your attorney will explain what that means. You do have a public defender.
I have a question.
Yes, sir. What is your question?
Ya me habían arrestado por un guarante. Yo había salido, estaba haciendo otro caso también. A mí no me
I
mandaron.
had already been arrested. I had a warrant, and I was let go, and I had another case also.
Okay, your attorney will explain to you the time frame in which case is, but this case is still ongoing.
No me llegó una carta para citación a mi casa.
I didn't get a letter or a summons at my home.
When you were released from jail on the first case, they give you information on when your next court date is.
Yo no sé.
Thank you, counsel.
I don't know.
Thank you. Counsel can answer any questions for you. Is that everything? Correction for the interpreters?
I need the actual case number for this case, the new one.
Give me a moment. 2022 CF 3870AO.
Thank you.
That'll
So,
oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Just hard of hearing.
For hard of hearing, Judge.
Oh, okay, that's everything. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter.
and this is Judge Bigney, right?
Yes, I'm in
Okay.
BRC 1.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. You too.
This is Mr. Moore.
It's loud. Mr. Morris, can you hear me okay?
Little scratchy, but yeah. I suppose.
2022 MM2657. Sir, you were arrested for a crime of battery domestic violence. I do find that there's probable cause. Is Amy Morris present? Amy Morris. Sir, do you need a public defender to help you with your case? That's a lawyer.
I would like one, yeah.
I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender. I do find probable cause. Here are the conditions of your release. I will give you a bond. You're to have no contact with the victim, must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return. You need to be accompanied by a police department officer or police officer to collect your belongings. You're not to possess any weapons. All weapons and ammunition must be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. I'm going to set your bond at $750. Thank you, Mr. Morris.
Before I can get out of jail, I have to pay $750.
We talked to a bondsman. One or the other. And then give us a call too.
Can I speak to the honor?
Thank you, counsel.
You want to call your attorney? Okay, judge.
All right, the next person is Rodrick Harris, 2022 MM2631. Good morning, are you Mr. Harris?
Good morning. Yes, I am.
Mr. Harris, I find probable cause for a charge of trespass on property after warning. Because of your lack of ties to the community, I'm staying your bond at $1,000.
Your Honor, there was an offer to resolve over the weekend, and I did have a chance to speak with Mr. Harris about that offer.
What's the offer?
It's an adjudication of guilt, time served, and no return.
I'll grant that.
I did give him a plea form to review, and he's signing the plea form now. May I approach?
Yes. Mr. Harris, are you under the influence of a drugs, alcohol, or medication, or do you have any health conditions that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Harris, did you read this plea form and have enough time to talk about your case with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand that by entering a plea, we will not have a trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you were on probation anywhere in the world at the time you committed this offense of trespass, by entering a plea today, your probation would be violated?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll go ahead and accept your plea. How do you plead to the charge of trespass from Walmart after warning? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, Your Honor.
Did your attorney explain what that means?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll accept your plea. You're adjudicated. I'll time serve you. You'll be released today. Pay your court costs by December 1st of this year. Do you have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
And no return.
Your Honor, could we request a year to pay the court costs?
I'll grant 1 year to pay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, are you Ms. Love Smith? 2022 CF 4576AO. Ma'am, you are here for a charge of possession of cocaine, obstruction of traffic with solicitation to solicitate without a permit, resisting officer without violence, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender, and you want to be heard on bond defense.
No, I would just have you set a reasonable bond, Your Honor.
I don't know what reasonable is. State your grounds.
You can state the bonds as they are.
Anything else, state?
No, Your Honor, state was asking that you stay then.
Okay, on counts 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to modify them to subsidiaries. Bonds set at $100 per misdemeanor offense. Your total bond is now $1,300, and not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs. Good luck to you, Ms. Lovesmith. Rena Sandoval.
Ms. Sandoval's behavior.
All right, this is the second time I find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender, stay the bond.
We'll waive the appearance as well.
Thank you, counsel. And that's on 2022 MM2644, 2022 CF4577AO. Just stay everything. Hemina Zelena.
Mental health.
At this time, I'll appoint the public defender. I find probable cause for the charge of trespass on property after warning.
We'll waive the appearance. I believe she's been deemed incompetent to proceed for at least a year since January. I would just have the ROR on this.
Give me a moment. Corrections, do you have any background information to let me know if she has any ties to the community or where she could live? Do you know, you said she was deemed, oh, sorry, yes, ma'am.
We didn't get to interview her this time. For her last arrest, she gave us a Fort Myers address, which was in 2020.
Defense, do you have a case number?
Yes, just a moment, Your Honor. I believe it was- I have case 2020 MM3642.
That case was dismissed January 10th of this year for being incompetent to proceed. However, state would argue that that's 3 months old at this point, and therefore
I'm sorry, counsel, I can't hear you.
she was found incompetent to proceed in that case, and the case was dismissed January 10th of this
See
year.
that?
However, state would argue that it's now 3 months old, so state would be asking for another eval on this case at a later time downtown. State just asking that you set a bond, given that she does have at least 4 prior failures to appear, the last in 2020.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to do counsel, if you have to say something, you don't need to make the nods.
All right, I was just wishing to rebut on that. The competency findings do not stagnate, as the state has indicated.
I agree with you. She has not been found incompetent. She has not regained competency, but we don't know if she has or if she hasn't. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and grant mental health pretrial release if she qualifies. Otherwise, follow your motions. Thank you.
Would you like to give a bond?
No, or I'll stay the monetary bond at 500. Thank you. Bayona, 2022 CF 4614. Are you Mr. Bayona?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sorry for the wait. Sir, you're here for burglary of a structure with an assault or battery therein, tampering with witness to hinder communications, and battery dating violence. Do you need a public defender? Do you plan to hire your own attorney, or do you want to represent yourself?
Public defender for now.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. You do qualify. Probable cause has been found for these offenses. State, do you want to be heard on bond on count 1 of PBL?
Yes, Your Honor, given that count 1 is a first-degree felony that's punishable by life, state's asking that you hold a no bond at this time, pending an Arthur hearing downtown.
And is Ms. Barrett present? Alyssa Marie Barrett?
No, Your Honor.
No response. Defense, do you want to be heard on that?
No argument this time, Your Honor.
All right, based on that, I'll go ahead and hold you at no bond. On count 2 and 3, you are entitled to a bond. I'm setting bond at $1,000 on count 1 and $100 on count 2, with the conditions that you have no contact with the victim, you maintain a separate residence, not go back to where she lives, works, or is known to frequent, and you not possess any weapons. All weapons need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 4 hours of your release once you do get a bond on count 1, but don't contact her. Yes, ma'am. No, count 2 was, yes, correct. Count 2, 1,000, count 3, 100, and stay at no bond on count 1. Sorry I wasn't clear on that. 2022 CF 4615AO. What is your name?
Ramos Burek.
Good morning, sir. You're here for a charge of aggravated battery on a pregnant person, as well as tampering or harassing a witness. Sir, do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender. I find probable cause for these offenses. Good morning, ma'am. Have you already been sworn in?
Yeah.
Is your name Alexis Davis?
Yes.
Miss Davis, how do you know Mr. Burek?
He's my boyfriend of 6 years.
Do you live together?
Yes.
Are you in fear of him?
No.
Were drugs or alcohol a factor in this?
Yes.
Which one?
Alcohol.
Or both?
Alcohol?
Okay. State, do you have any questions for him?
No, Your Honor.
Defense counsel, do you have any questions for Ms. Davis?
Questions, Your Honor?
It is showing that he's here on vacation. Do you have anything in support of his lack of ties to the community or ties in setting monetary bonds?
Just in your setting of conditions, Your Honor, allow him to return to his home jurisdiction.
Do you want to be heard on monetary bond number?
$1,000 bond and a $100 bond on count 2 would be reasonable.
What says the state?
Our state's main concern is he is a multi-state offender. He has both Georgia and Pennsylvania history. So he has lack of ties to this community. However, he does seem to be a multi-state offender. So state would have to take that into account. And I believe Ms.
Davis
has already stated that she does not fear Mr. Burek. State's, however, concerned about the allegations within the affidavit that he allegedly pushed her on the bed and got on top of her while she was holding her daughter, who I believe is also present here today. So state would have you take that into account and set it no contact and to comply with DCF as DCF was called.
Ma'am, I heard your request about not being in fear of him, but it's not just you. I'm also concerned about the safety and welfare of your children and the child that you're carrying. Mr. Burek, you have no ties to this community. I'm showing that you have a criminal record. So here's your following conditions. On the aggravated battery with the pregnant person, your bond is $5,000. On the tampering or harassing a witness, your bond is going to be $200 for a total of $5,200. I know you have 3 children and you're pregnant, and I know this is going to be a hardship on you, but I'm ordering no contact.
Okay, for us to fly back, it's under his name.
I've actually bought plane tickets before, ma'am. The ticket is bared under your name.
Okay.
If you contact Spirit Airlines, they should be able to issue you a ticket.
Okay.
I will allow one-time contact to give her the confirmation number so she's not stuck here with the 3 children. So I'll allow one-time contact. Your call will be recorded, as is standard for a jail call. And that's to discuss only the travel arrangements back. You're not to own any weapons. If you have any weapons, show them this court order to your local police department and let them know that you're not allowed to have any weapons. They need to be surrendered to your local police department when you return home. You're not to possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. And you're only to have that one-time limited contact. Additionally, you must maintain a separate residence. You can't go to where she lives, works, or is known to frequent. Do you have any questions, Mr. Burek?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Davis, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you, ma'am. Baby. Yes, and comply with DCF's investigation on both sides. Fabian Cabrera. Sir, are you Mr. Cabrera?
Yes, Your Honor.
You need a public defender to help you with your case.
Yes.
I'll appoint a public defender. Is Leslie Ann Cabrera present? No response. Philip Cabrera? No response. Sir, you were arrested for felony charges in case 2022 CF 4607AO for battering a law enforcement officer, resisting officer without violence. In the misdemeanor charge of 2022 MM 2658, you were arrested for a charge of battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. No contact with the victim. Maintain separate residence. You're not to have any weapons. If you do, they need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release from jail. I'll allow a one-time return to collect your personal belongings, but you must be accompanied by a police officer. Defense or Mr. Cabrera, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Did you set bonds at the?
I'm staying the bonds on the felonies.
Do you want those same conditions in the felony? Or you just want them in the?
Just in the misdemeanor case. Thank you, everybody. The next person is Brian Gossett, 2022 CF 4616AO. Is Sandra Gossett or Roger Gossett present? Sir, you're here for a charge of battery on a person aged 65 years of age or older. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll appoint the services of the public defender. State, do you want to be heard? State and defense, do you want to be heard on monetary bond?
Your Honor, state was just bringing to your attention, he does have a very violent arrest history, including prior VOPs showing an inability to comply with court orders, prior BAT DVs, prior violations of DV injunctions, kidnapping DV, battery by strangulation. I understand that he otherwise qualifies for PTR. If you are inclined to put him on PTR, stay with
I'm
us
not.
for bond with PTR.
Is the dead chicken, are they alleging, if you know, are they alleging that he killed the chicken or it died naturally?
I believe the way the affidavit reads, the victim is alleging that he had something to do with it. However,
Because of the emoji text message?
yes, ma'am.
Defense, do you want to be heard?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, based on your history, I'm setting your bond at $5,000. I'm ordering no contact with the victims of this case. You're not to possess any weapons. No contact means even texting and telephoning them. Maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer to get your belongings. Thank you, Mr. Gossett. Yes, no weapons, and if you do have them, they need to be surrendered within 4 hours. Thank you. Wait a second. Are you Pablo Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to be talking to you about 3 different cases. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case, your new case?
I thought I had one appointed to it.
That's in the other cases, but yesterday, excuse me, on April 24th, you were arrested for a new charge of aggravated battery on a pregnant person. You do not have a lawyer on that case. This is the
I think I did. A public defender?
yeah, but not on the new one, right? Okay, so on the new case, do you need a public defender to represent you in all your cases?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll appoint a public defender in 2022 CF 4599. Sir, it was alleged that on or about April 22nd, you committed an offense of battery upon a pregnant person, so it is aggravated. I find probable cause defense. Do you want to be heard on the new charge, monetary bond conditions, and the old charges for aggravated battery in a pregnant person and leaving the scene of a crash with injury or death and tampering with evidence?
No. As to the out on bond cases, if you are inclined to revoke, Your Honor, I would have you revoke in double. As to the current case, I believe a $2,500 bond is reasonable.
Thank you, defense. All right, so I'm going to start with the new case that was alleged to have occurred on April 22nd. On that case, I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. You're to have no contact with the victim of that case. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return when you're released from jail to collect any belongings. You're also not allowed to have any weapons. Actually, strike the one-time return. You're not allowed to have any weapons. All weapons need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 4 hours of your release. So when we saw you in court on March 22nd for a prior offense of aggravated battery on a pregnant person, there was a no contact order in that case. At this time, I'm going to revoke your bond on that charge and hold you at no bond and stay all the conditions.
Excuse me. It's just.
Do you want him to say anything?
Yes, can I please speak? Can I please?
All of your statements are being recorded and can be used against you. Right now, your attorney has muted the microphone. You want to confer with him before you say anything else to further incriminate yourself?
And Your Honor, just for your knowledge, the 21 CF case is a leaving the scene of a crash with a death.
I saw that.
And he's also speaking against counsel's advice.
Ma'am, this happened. I'm barely starting my business, and I have invoices that I haven't turned in. I'm about to have a newborn child, like in 2 months, and we have like 5 kids that we take care of. We also, they were about to take us out of the home. In here, I'm not worth nothing for like to help my family, and we have all these bills. We have a lot of stuff we have to pay, things that we have to buy. It's like in here, I can't pay all this money. I would like to see if you could either give me a small bond or something, because I mean, in reality, we had to get in contact because she needs money to survive. Like, she needs money for the kids need food, kids need clothes.
I can't imagine the stress that you and your family are undergoing, but the allegations are that you punched her. So I'm going to go ahead and deny your request. Now let's talk about the leaving the scene with death and the tampering. On those cases, I'm also revoking your release and holding you at no bond. Thank you. That concludes your case, Mr. Pablo Hernandez. Jocelyn Lopez, case number 2022 CF 4594. You're here. Good morning. Are you Miss Lopez?
Lopez, yes.
You're here for a charge of aggravated battery with a weapon, count 2 battery, and then count 3 aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You qualify for the services of the public defender. I'll go ahead and appoint them to help you with your case. Is Mr. Benitez Ortiz or Mr. Lopez present? All right. So you are entitled to monetary bonds because you have no criminal history. On count 1, I'm setting your bond at $2,000. On count 2, $100, and count 3, $150 for a total of $2,250. Ms. Lopez, I'm ordering that you have no contact with either victim, Mr. Lopez or Mr. Benitez. You must maintain a separate residence. You can't go back to where they're living. I'll allow a one-time return as long as you're accompanied by a police officer at that time. Possess no weapons. Any weapons need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release, and not to possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. You do have a public defender. Thank you. The next person is Snyder Love Guchin Morales. How do you say your last name?
Morales.
I'm going to appoint a public defender that's a lawyer to help you with your case. Probable cause has already been found for battery by strangulation, domestic in nature, as well as count 2 robbery. You are entitled to a bond on count 1. Defense, do you want to be heard?
Reasonable bond condition could be $1,000, Your Honor, on count 1. As to the robbery, I'd leave that in your discretion.
I'll go ahead and set it as a subsidiary bond. I'll stay the bond on count 1, the robbery, at $5,000, and on count 1, $150. You're to have no contact with your sister. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return as long as you are accompanied by a police officer and you're not to possess any weapons. Any weapons need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 4 hours of your release. Are you able to afford $5,150? All right, thank you. You do have a public defender. What is your name?
Malachi Rogers.
Good morning, Mr. Rogers. You're here for felony charges in case number 2022 CF 4602AO. You're here for aggravated assault with a firearm, possession of a firearm by convicted felon, battery, domestic violence, and count 4, finally, resisting officer without violence. I'll appoint a public defender. I do find probable cause. And I am considering your criminal history when I set bond. On the aggravated assault with a firearm, I'm setting your, what?
You do have a victim.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you behind that stand. What is your name, ma'am?
Lakeria Comer Wills.
And how do you know, thank you, Ms. Willis, how do you know Mr. Rogers?
He's my boyfriend.
Do you live together?
Something like that, yes, ma'am. But he doesn't have it's false when you said aggravated assault with a firearm. He was trying to stop me from hurting myself.
Okay. Are you afraid of Emmanuel, of Mr. Rogers?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to have contact with him?
Yes, ma'am, because it's false charges.
Your Honor, I would just point that there are 2 independent witnesses.
Independent witness. Do you have any questions, State, for her?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. I've heard what you said. I know you have a child in common. Here's what I'm ordering. I do find probable cause nonetheless. On the aggravated assault with a firearm, I'm setting your bond at $5,000. On count 2, possession of a firearm by a convicted delinquent, I'm setting your bond at $5,000. On the battery domestic violence, $100, and the resisting officer without violence, $100. Here are the conditions of your release. I'm ordering no contact with Ms. Willis, no contact with any witnesses, which include her mother. So that means you cannot go to where she lives, works, or is known to frequent. I'm also ordering that you surrender any weapons because you're not allowed to have any, and that also includes any ammunition. That must be done within 4 hours of your release from any jail.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Ms. Willis.
It's not his fault. I got into a fist fight with some girls, and I have proof.
Okay. Well, I think I just have to base it
And
on.
I tried to kill myself. It's not his fault. He didn't do anything to me.
Okay, because of his criminal history, he's not allowed to have any weapons.
He doesn't know anything about a firearm. He never had a firearm. I had the firearm.
Okay, I've considered everything you said. Thank you for your testimony. Good luck to you. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Your case is concluded. No contact because they don't really live together. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's just no contact. It's still no contact. I just lay it all out like that. What is your name?
Alexander Stopa.
Mr. Stopa, you're here for a few different charges. Do you need a public defender to help you with all of your cases?
Yes, please.
All right. I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. I find probable cause for all the cases. Are you Tina Stopa Thomas and Robert Thomas?
Thompson, but yes.
Thompson, I'm sorry. Go ahead and tell me how you know Mr. Stopa.
Alex is our son.
Okay. And he's living with you, he lives in Jacksonville, right?
Yes.
And are you in fear of him?
Yes, very.
Were drugs or alcohol a factor in any of this?
Yes, both. He hit his son. He headbutted his son, his 3-year-old son. He destroyed the place we were staying at. We came to visit here. We're from Illinois. He destroyed it to about the tune of somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000. They estimate right now.
There's a criminal mischief charge, Your Honor. It's relevant.
She's asking about contact.
Okay. Go ahead, state your objections, and make sure we're not interrupting. Okay, so my concern today is setting his bond conditions and talking about terms of release. Where is his son now?
We have him with his mom right now, and we're gonna go see them. There's 2 children.
So he lives in Jacksonville?
Yes, both children do, and the child is very afraid of him. He called the mom yesterday, and he wanted to talk to the son, and the son started crying. He would not get on the phone with him.
Unfortunately, I have to deal with the victims that I have now. I can't overstep and talk about what amounts to a family law case. So he lives in Jacksonville with the mother of his children, and you are visiting from Illinois?
He does not live with the mother of his children, no.
Okay, where does the mother of his children live?
Yeah.
My question is, where do the children and the mom live?
In Jacksonville.
I can't order anything. I can't order, State, refresh my memory, was DCF contacted on this?
I don't see anything, Your Honor. I don't believe there's anything in it. I just believe Harbor House was contacted, but not DCF.
All right, Mr. Stopa, you do have a public defender. I'm going to start with the charge of battery, domestic violence relating to your parents. In case 2022 CF 4591, you are entitled to a bond. I'm setting that bond at $2,000 with the condition that you have no contact with the victims of this case. You cannot, and you also cannot own any weapons. If you own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 4 hours of your release from jail. In case number 2022 CF 4590AO, you face a charge of criminal mischief. It is a felony offense. I find probable cause. I'll set that bond at $150 and order no return to the scene of the crime, the Sheraton. In all of these cases, I'm also going to order that you not possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or alcohol. Again, there's a no weapons provision in the battery domestic charge. In case numbers 2022 MM2650AO and 2022 MM2652, you face 2 counts of resisting officer without violence. I'm going to modify those bonds to $100 apiece. And you do have a public defender who can give you all the details on that if you have any questions. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, thank you for your testimony. Stay safe.
Your Honor, I believe there's one more.
Yeah,
There's
22 MM2651.
2651?
Yes, Your Honor, the bat DV. There's a bat
Oh, I'm
strangulation.
sorry,
and
that
bat
one got buried. You are entitled to a bond in misdemeanor case 2022 MM2651 for a charge of battery domestic violence. I do find probable cause. You're going to have the same conditions, no contact with Robert and Tina Thompson. You're not to possess any weapons, and you must maintain a separate residence. You can't go to where they go. I'm going to set that bond at $500. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. No contact, yeah, and the weapons. What is your name? What?
Rodrick Calder.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Calder. You're here in case number 2022 MM2661AO. Mr. Calder, do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
You were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence. I do find probable cause. Is Joseph Colbert present?
Present.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Colbert?
Colbeth.
Colbert. How do you know Mr. Calder?
He is my partner.
And do you live together?
Correct.
Are you in fear of him?
No.
Do you want contact with him?
Yes.
Do you feel safe with him returning home?
Yes.
Were drugs or alcohol involved?
Yes.
What's that? State and defense, any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
No questions, Your Honor.
Will he qualify for PT?
He qualifies, Your Honor.
I'm going to put you on pretrial release. That means you can leave jail after providing some information. I'm ordering no hostile contact with your partner. You're also not allowed to possess any weapons. Are there any weapons in the home that you know of, Mr. Colbert?
No, not at all.
If you do own any weapons, which you're not allowed to have now, they need to be surrendered within 2 hours of your release from the Orange County Jail. I'm also ordering that you not possess, use, or consume any alcohol, any illegal drugs, or have any drug paraphernalia. Mr. Calder, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Sir, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, that concludes this matter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Herman Lee DeRico.
Yes.
Sir, you were arrested for a charge of battery domestic violence. I do find that there's probable cause. I'll appoint a public defender to help you with your case. Ma'am, tell me your name, please.
Wanda Thomas
And how do you know Mr. DeRico?
is my boyfriend. We live together.
So you do live together?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you afraid of him?
Since last night, yes, I am.
So you want no contact, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. State, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Does he have a drug or alcohol problem?
No, ma'am.
State, when's the last arrest or conviction for a drug charge that you know of?
I don't see anything in Orange County. One second, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I could not hear you.
I don't see anything in Orange County. One second.
Corrections, how long do you have him living in Orange County or the Central Florida area?
He stated during his interview he's been living at his current address off Charles Street for 480 months.
480 months?
Your Honor, the last drug-related
4 years?
arrest I see is from 1999.
All right, sir, I'm putting you on pretrial release with the following conditions. You're to have no contact with the victim of this crime. You must maintain a separate residence. You're also not allowed to possess any weapons. If you do own any, they need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 2 hours of your release from jail. It sounds like you were living together. I've court ordered that you're not permitted to do that anymore. She can stay where she's at. I'll allow you to have a one-time return. You need to contact the police department. They'll escort you. They'll meet you, escort you to the home to collect your belongings. And I'm also going to order that you not possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. You'll be subject to random drug testing at your expense through the pretrial release services. That can begin any time after May 24th. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
Yes, I'm planning on leaving it home. Also, I don't know when yet, but if he come there while I'm there, do I call the police? Because I don't want no contact with him at all.
Yes, you called up police, that would be a violation. You called the police, it would be a violation of a court order if he did. He is allowed one-time return.
Okay.
That means he's going to contact the police department. They're going to arrange to meet him, and then they'll escort him to your shared home, your previously shared home, to collect his belongings. And after that, he has no reason to go back or have any contact with you.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Do you have any questions, sir? No. Thank you. Marvin Ellison?
No.
Chelsea Longley? No response. Mr. Ellison, you were arrested for battery, a hurtful or offensive touching or striking. It is domestic in nature based on the allegations. I'll appoint a public defender to help you with your case. I'm going to set your bond at $500. I'm going to order no contact with the victim. Maintain separate residence. Wait, hold on a second. No contact with her. You're not permitted to have any weapons. All weapons need to be surrendered within 2 hours of your release from Orange County Jail. Anything else, State?
Your Honor, I do believe they live together. Can he have a one-time return?
He's listing a Sanders address.
I don't know if either of them have their ID updated, which is where I believe those addresses come from. When Mr. Ellison spoke to PTR, he advised that they lived together. So that's my only concern.
Defense? You want to ask your client anything?
Yes, Your Honor. Just a moment. After speaking with our client, Your Honor, I don't believe they live together.
Thank you. I'll stay by conditions. Nino Williams? Thank you, sir. This is Jim's management book? It's all these are handwritten. What is your name?
Nina Williams.
Miss Williams, do you need a public defender? Do you plan to represent yourself, or do you plan to hire your own attorney?
I'll need a public defender.
Okay, you'll need to do an application, but because it's first appearances, I'll go ahead and appoint one. You were arrested for battery. I'm ordering that you have no contact with the witness or the victim in this matter. You must maintain a separate residence. You're not allowed to have any weapons. All weapons need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 2 hours of your release from jail. And based on your criminal history, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $750. Defense, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Janice Burnett. Corrections, do you have a probation case number?
One moment. It's out of St. Johns County. I believe it's 2019 CF 1300.
All right, thank you. Are you Miss Burnett?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here for a violation of probation out of St. Johns County. You're being held on no bond for the underlying offense of felony retail theft. Because you're being held at no bond, I'll appoint a public defender to assist you. Thank you.
I have a question. What is my VOP for?
May I see? Ma'am, I don't know, but I did confirm, my staff has confirmed the warrant, so you'll need to, your attorney will need to advise you. No, that was what the offense was, the underlying. Yeah, she wants to know why she was violated. We don't have an affidavit on that. All right, your name, please?
Becky Groff.
Ms. Groff, you're here for a warrant out of Seminole County, Florida. You're being held at no bond. You're on probation for charges of cocaine and driving under the influence. It's alleged that you violated terms of probation. I'll appoint a public defender to help you with your case. Defense counsel, she might be on probation for a couple other things in Seminole, so that way she can start getting some gain time on it. You may want to follow up with her. I don't have a case number. The next person is Bryant Peterson. Hold on just a moment.
Okay, that should be a few days.
Mr. Peterson, you're here for Volusia County case number 2021-224408. You're on pretrial release in Volusia County. It's alleged that you violated your pretrial release. You do have a bond of $1,000. Will you be able to post that bond?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll appoint a public defender to help you with your case. Thank you. Sir, you're here for some new charges. Do you need a public defender to help you with your cases? You're hearing case number 2022 CF 4605AO. I find probable cause for possession of fentanyl, possession of cocaine, possession of methamphetamine, possession of controlled substance, tampering with physical evidence, destruction and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to stay all those bonds, and I'm also going to order that you not possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or have any drug paraphernalia. The next case I'm addressing is a violation of probation in case number 2021 CF 12447 CO. It looks like you're on probation for the underlying offense of criminal mischief. At this time, I'm going to hold you at no bond and treat it as an on-view violation. Your next court date is going to be on May 2nd. That's an arraignment. And finally, you have case number 2022 CF 16948O. You were released on your own recognizance for a charge of possession of fentanyl. That release was done on March 16. One of the conditions of your release is that you not commit any new law violations. So at this time, I'm going to revoke your ROR status, but I will give you a monetary bond of $2,000 in that case, with the condition that you not possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs. Thank you, sir. All right, that's everything, right? And then, let me do my 33 days. State, are you ready in the 33s?
Yes, Judge.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond Court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond Court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Your first one, Carlos Chico Varado, is a bond. Yes, ma'am.
Is this German Diaz Perez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sorry, everybody.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm Mr. Mayor, certified federal interpreter, already sworn.
Good afternoon, this is Judge Bigney. Can you please sound check Mr. Diaz Perez?
Uh-huh.
We're connected, Your Honor.
You're here in case number 2022 CF4613. You were arrested for a charge of battery on a security officer or other licensed officer. Would you like me to appoint a lawyer to help you with your case, since you may not be familiar with the English language or our justice system?
See.
Yes.
I'll appoint a public defender. I'm going to stay the bond at $2,500. Thank you, sir. Your bond amount again is $2,500.
Your Honor, state would ask for a no contact and a no return to the Copus Bar.
I'll go ahead and grant that request. You cannot go back to the scene of the crime where this happens or have any contact with any witnesses or employees there. Thank you, Mr. Diaz Perez. Your attorney will communicate with you after court.
Uh-huh.
What is your name, please?
Valesca González Cerda.
2022 CF4604. Ma'am, you were arrested for use of possession of an anti-shoplifting or inventory control device and petty theft. I'm going to stay the, are you just visiting Illinois? Excuse me, are you just visiting Florida?
Sí, vengo de turista. De turismo.
Yes, I'm here as a tourist.
And how long do you have any objection to me asking questions? Because I'm
As long as they just protect
just objective, you do.
conditions of release, yeah.
How long do you plan to stay in the U.S.?
8 días, 8 días. En 8 días, 9 días más me tengo que ir.
8 days. I have 8 days in order to leave.
Ma'am, one of the conditions is that you have to appear for all future court dates. Are you aware of that? You need to answer out loud.
Sí.
Yes.
I'll stay the bonds at $2,000 plus $200. You must appear for all future court dates. Do you need a lawyer to help you with these criminal charges?
Yo no, me iban a pagar una fianza a mí, pero no sé si me la han pagado.
My bond was going to be paid, but I don't know if they have paid it yet.
You're here, so I don't believe it's been paid. You are facing criminal charges and you must come back to address them. Do you want a lawyer to help you with your case?
Yes.
Sí.
Yes.
I'll appoint a public defender. I'm also ordering no return to J.C. Penney.
Sí.
Yes.
Thank you.
Could the interpreter have that name again? There was a noise on the line.
Sure, Valesca Gonzalez. Do you need a case number?
have the case number, Your Honor.
Thank you. Hiram Cordonez. Oh, no more Spanish? All right, that's everything for the interpreter. Thank you, sir. You can disconnect.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
2022's MM 1825. Are you Mr. Cordonez?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're here with a, you do have a public defender. You're here for a charge of trespass, which was alleged to have occurred at Shell gas station on or about March 20th. How does your client plead, defense counsel?
Yes, there was an offer to resolve that I spoke with him about, an adjudication of guilt. Credit time served and no return. I believe he wishes to plead no contest on those terms, Your Honor.
Is that what you would like to do? Plead no contest?
He just needs to sign the plea form if he may take a moment.
Sure. And state it's a time served offer, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you seeking an adjudication or withhold?
An adjudication.
How long has he been in? 37? Does he have priors?
He does, Your Honor.
When was his last?
His last trespass was in 2022 of January of this year, and he currently has another open trespass and battery.
Sir, how do you plead to the crime of trespass, which occurred at Shell? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest, ma'am.
Do you understand what no contest means? Has anybody forced you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, medicine, or do you have any health conditions that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, Your Honor.
Did you read this plea form and understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you were not a United States citizen, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation, you would be subject to deportation? Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you were on probation at the time you committed this offense, back on March 20th, do you understand your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a criminal history of doing anything sexually violent or anything sexually motivated under the laws of the state, you understand you would be civilly committed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll go ahead and proceed to sentencing. No return to the scene of the crime. I'll release you today on these charges with credit for 37 days time served. You are being adjudicated guilty. We'll get some fingerprints, and you owe court costs. I'll give you 1 year to pay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Robert Harmon is next. Good morning. Are you Mr. Harmon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Today's you're here for arraignment. The state has charged you in case 2020 MM 8154 AO with the offense of battery. You do have a lawyer in this case, and there is no plea offer, so I'll enter a plea of not guilty. Your attorney will advise you otherwise. Thank you.
Hey.
Division 80, pre-trial conference, June 20th at 9 a.m. and 9.
Hold on, Mr. Harmon, what's your middle name?
Alan.
Okay, strike that. Hold on a second. Is it the same defendant? I had Hiram, but I have two Robert Harmons.
Harman.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Have a moment to confer, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I have the same date of birth on both, Your Honor.
Same person?
I have the same date of...
Corrections, can you tell me the inmate, if he's in on both charges? I'll get you an inmate number.
Yes, on both cases that are here on the arraignment sheet, he's in on both cases.
Okay, so that's just one of your charges, the offense of battery. I cannot take a plea at this time, so I'll enter a plea of not guilty. What's the arraignment date? I mean, PTC?
PTC is June 20th at 9 a.m. and 9C, and that's Division 80.
Mr. Harmon, you're here for a second case. That case number is 2021 MM 1478 AO. Defense counsel, how does your client plea?
Your Honor, there was an offer to resolve on the charge of defrauding an innkeeper, if you are inclined to accept that.
Counsel, how does your client plea?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Hold to
So
resolve.
let me ask you some questions.
Excuse me, Your Honor, to resolve the defrauding the innkeeper.
That's what I said. I said.
I didn't know if you wanted to
Sir, you're
hear.
here for defrauding an innkeeper. I said, counsel, how does your client plea?
It would be no contest, Your Honor, if we can correct.
All right, I'm going to ask you some questions. State as your recommendation, time served.
Yes, Your Honor, it was an adjudication, credit time served, no return to Neon Beach at 131 North Orange Avenue, restitution in the amount of $54 to Neon Beach, and cost of investigation of $55.50 to Orlando Police Department.
Thank you. Mr. Harmon, have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, Your Honor.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the crime of defrauding an innkeeper? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest, Your Honor.
And do you understand what no contest means?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, Your Honor.
In front of you, you have a plea form. Did you read it and understand it?
Yes.
Go ahead and sign it if you haven't done so. Sir, do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today?
Yes, Your Honor.
And again, this is your signature over here, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. And once again, how are you pleading to the charge of defrauding an innkeeper? Guilty?
No contest, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll accept your plea of no contest. I have a factual basis to accept this plea. I'll follow the state's recommendation. You're being adjudicated guilty. We'll get some fingerprints from you shortly. I'm sentencing you to time served. You'll be released on this case alone, but you're still in jail on the other case. No return to the scene of the crime. You owe $54 to the victim. That is to be paid first. You also owe $55.50 to Orlando Police Department and court cost. If you haven't paid your lawyer's fees, you owe that as well. I'll give you 1 year to pay all of that. Mr. Harmon, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Did I mess up on those numbers?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
May I approach with the restitution order?
Yes, thanks. Charles Lewis is next. Thank you. You know what? Something just occurred to me. Are they still in business? You're welcome, sir.
Neon Beach, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. I thought with COVID things. The next person I'm addressing is Charles Lewis in case number 2021 MM7749AO.
I have a moment to confer, Your Honor.
Yes.
A lot of questions.
State, what's the offer on this case?
For Mr. Lewis, the offer was an adjudication, credit time served, no return to the Christian Service Center, restitution of $170 to Vincent Bennett, and cost investigation of $81 to Orlando Police Department.
Your Honor, just a moment to prepare a plea form. I did speak with Mr. Lewis about the state's offer,
Sure.
and believe he wishes to resolve today.
How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm fine. Thank you.
Is he being held on anything else? No, Your Honor. Thank you. So let me start by asking you some questions. Your name is Charles Lewis, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to plea and resolve your case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's the highest grade that you finished in school?
High school diploma.
And have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
Ma'am.
Sir, do you understand that if you plead today and you were on probation when you committed this offense back on August 10th of 2021, your terms of probation would be violated? Do you understand that?
No, ma'am. I'm not on probation.
Okay. Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea?
I was born in Nuremberg, Germany.
And these are the questions that I ask everybody.
Oh, yes. I have dual citizenship.
All right. And in front of you, there's a plea form. Did you read it and understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
If you agree to the terms, go ahead and sign it.
I did speak of the enhanceability on the charge as well, Your Honor.
We'll go into that. Sir, how do you plead to the charge of petty theft, a misdemeanor of the second degree? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest, ma'am.
And did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Did your attorney explain what no contest means?
Yes.
All right, one of the things that is not on the form is theft is an enhanceable offense. You will be convicted, we'll take your fingerprints before you're processed out. If you commit a future act of theft, you can be charged with a felony despite the value of the item. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll go ahead and proceed to sentencing. I'll accept your plea of no contest. You're adjudicated, sentenced to time served. You'll be released on these charges today. No return to the scene of the crime, and you owe $170 to Vincent's,
It's James Lind, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Oh.
There was 2 victims that we only charged.
to victim, and the state will provide a restitution order. That's to be paid first. You owe $81 cost of investigation to the Orlando Police Department, plus court costs and your public defender fees. Mr. Lewis, I'll give you 1 year to make payment on that. Do you have a proposed order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel.
Okay, I'll wait till she dismisses you.
The next person I'm addressing is Marvin Pope.
Thanks, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Good luck to you. 2022 MM242566. What do you want to do with his case?
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor, and enter a plea of not guilty.
PTC date, please.
Division 61 pretrial conference, May 20th at 1:30 p.m. in 6E.
Devontae Terrell Robinson, 2022 MM 2569. What happened to him? Okay, he has a resisting. What do you want to do, defense counsel?
We'll waive the appearance and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Division 81 pretrial conference, May 20th at 9 a.m. in 4E.
All right, back on to the first appearances. What is your name, sir?
Jonathan Luke.
Jonathan Loop?
Yes, ma'am.
Give me just a moment. I am. What? Let's switch on the last gentleman and go to Mr. Efford. Sir, are you Mr. Efford?
Yes.
You're here in case number 2022 MM2653AO. You're here for a charge of trespass. It occurred at Walmart. I find probable cause. Your bond is $250. Defense counsel, do you need if you would like to resolve this case today, the offer would be an adjudication. I would sentence you to, I would take your plea tomorrow and I would take your plea now and sentence you. You would have to agree to restitution to see if there's damage for the broken door.
Hold on.
Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case, Mr. Efford?
You want a lawyer?
Do you want more time to talk to him?
Sleep. I was
Do you want a
sleepy.
public defender to help you?
Do you want a lawyer to help you with your case?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I'll appoint the public defender. How about I reset this case for a first appearance tomorrow? He does have a bond of $250, and I'll stay that bond in the meantime. I know I don't do that often, but it's the rate. Okay, will you let me know if there was anything supplemental on that? Yes. Did Mayero Gama Rodriguez bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. The next person is Clifford Good. 2022 MM266 4AO. Mr. Good, you were arrested for a charge of trespass in an occupied conveyance, as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause for these offenses, and I'm going to stay the bond. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am, I have one.
Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender. Sir, you also do have reporting requirements. If you do bond out on these charges, you have 21 business day to report as a sexual offender and satisfy those reporting requirements. Thank you, Mr. Good.
Your Honor, would you entertain a plea to the bench?
This is one where I'm not going to make an offer based on the facts.
And are you staying the bond amounts?
I'm staying the bond amounts.
Jones is outside medical.
Wayne Jones is medical.
Outside medical.
Do you want me to appoint a public defender and reset for first appearances tomorrow?
I would ask within 24 hours of his release from medical, because he might be medical tomorrow too, but
We'll see what
it's
happens.
it's in your discretion. If he's able to talk to us tomorrow, he can resolve it.
I'll reset to tomorrow. No. We'll see what happens. I do find probable cause to pay the bond. Give me a moment on the next case. I just received the affidavit from Osceola. All right, your name, please?
Rebecca Killen?
Ms. Killen, I'm going to be addressing two different cases today. You have Orange County Court cases and a Osceola County Court case. Do you want a public defender, a lawyer, to represent you in these cases?
Yes.
I'll appoint a public defender to help you with these charges. You're here in case 2022 MM2656 out of Orange County for charges of petty theft as well as resisting merchant recovery. I find probable cause. I'll stay the bond on count 1, modify the bond to $100 on count 2, with the condition that you not return to the scene of the crime. You are out on bond on a felony charge. You were just released about a week ago in case 2022 CF1142 for a charge of cruelty towards child causing harm. State, do you want to be heard on the out on bond in Osceola County?
Your Honor, for out on bond, I have that she was arrested approximately 5 days ago on this case. I'm not giving the state ample time to file charges. So this time, given the seriousness of that offense and that it's an F1, the state is asking that you revoke. If you're otherwise not inclined to revoke, the state would ask that you at least revoke and double or triple the bond, as it came in only at $1,000.
What says defense?
As the charges aren't related or similar, I would have you take no action, but if you are inclined to revoke, I would have you revoke a double the bond amount, Your Honor.
Thank you, everybody. On the Osceola County case, I'm going to revoke your bond. You'll be held at no bond. Did Sabrina Prado bond? Thank you. The next person is Benjamin Smith, case number 2022 MM2659. Followed by Timothy Frazier. State, what's your recommendation on this?
Your Honor, I've been authorized on the state's behalf to offer a withhold credit time served.
Please charge to both.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And I would follow that recommendation. Good morning, good afternoon, sir. Tell me what your name is.
Timothy Frazier.
Mr. Frazier, you're here in 2020 MO 543AO for city charges of open container of alcohol, as well as a state misdemeanor violation called resisting officer without violence. I find probable cause. Sir, if you would like to resolve your case today, the offer is a withhold, credit time served, plus court costs. In the alternative, I would reduce your bonds to $100 per count. Would you like to plead or resolve your cases today?
Get it resolved.
Okay, you want to resolve them?
Get
Do
it
you-
resolved.
Okay. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your cases?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a public defender?
I can't hear you.
Do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Could I just speak to him as a friend of the court to save him
Sure.
a few bucks? I did speak with Mr. Frazier in the back prior to court with the state's offer, went over the plea form with him and gave him one to review. I believe he wishes to resolve no contest today.
All right. Did you read the plea form, sir, and sign it?
He did. Yes, he did, Your Honor. May I approach?
Yes.
Officer, approach.
Sir, are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, medicine, or do you have any health condition that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
I don't know.
Can you?
I do have concerns that you might still
No.
be feeling the effects of alcohol or not understand, because you have not been responsive. And I know sometimes it's hard to hear me, but
Yes, ma'am.
if at some point I feel that you can't understand this, I'll reset your case for tomorrow. Have you had enough time to talk to your lawyer? Can you, is it a hearing issue?
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on, let's try hearing assist.
Okay.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now?
No, ma'am.
Did you read this paper and understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you agree to the terms?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Frazier, did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to open container of alcohol? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
And how do you plead to the charge of resisting officer without violence?
No contest.
Do you understand what no contest means?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anybody force you to say no contest?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you were on probation for any past crimes by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a criminal history of doing anything sexually violent or anything sexually motivated, under the laws of the state, you would be civilly committed. Do you understand that too?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Frazier, I'm going to release you from jail today. I'll accept your plea of no contest, withhold court costs, credit time served, pay your court costs within 1 year. Do you have any questions, Mr. Frazier?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Eugene Hall is next, case number 2222 MO 544AO. Status is a time served offer with a withhold.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you Mr. Hall?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me okay? Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. You're here for a charge of open container. I'm going to reduce your bond to $100. If you would like to resolve the case today, you could enter a plea. I would do a time served sentence, release you, and do a withhold plus court cost. Mr. Hall, do you need any time to talk to a lawyer?
No.
How do you plead to the charge of open container of alcohol? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Do you understand what no contest means?
Yes.
And did anybody force you to say no contest?
No.
Mr. Hall, did you read this paper, the plea form?
Yes, I do.
And I see that there's a signature. Is that your signature?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea? If you were on probation when you committed this crime by entering a plea today, your terms of probation would be violated. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, I'll accept your plea of no contest. I'll withhold adjudication, give you a time-served sentence, and release you today. Pay your court costs within 1 year. Any questions, Mr. Hall?
But what would that court cost be?
It's $274, give or take. And I'll give you 1 year to pay.
Okay, thank you, Lucky.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 223. The next case is Jeremy Long. Is Mr. Long here? Sir, what is your name? What's your name, sir? Good morning, good afternoon. What? Vincent? Oh, Benson. I have Benson. Okay. Juan Ramon Boada Davia?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Davia. You're here for felony charges in case number 2022 CF 4603AO. Do you plan to hire your own attorney, represent yourself? If you feel you cannot afford an attorney, I can see if you qualify for the services of a public defender. Which do you want? Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint a public defender. You do qualify. Sir, I find probable cause for a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, as well as criminal mischief. You are entitled to a bond on count 1. State, do you want to be heard? This is a road rage case.
Yes, Your Honor. Given that Mr. Davila has no criminal history, and that it is an F3, state's asking for $2,500. Or the alternative, PT.
Oh, I'm not PTRing.
PTR.
Not with these facts. Maybe bond plus PTR, but defense, do you want to be heard?
Just a moment to confer, Your Honor. Based on the facts in the affidavit and the type of the BB gun that was allegedly used, I think a $1,000 bond is a reasonable bond condition, Your Honor, on count 1.
Some of I mean, a person with no history, facts, just occur, the occurrence, the fact that there was a child in the car, and this defendant, as I said, it's road rage, and this defendant is employed in transportation. I do have concerns about the safety of the community. I'm setting his bond at $4,000. I'll stay the bond on count 2 at $100 for a total of $4,100. I'm ordering that you not possess any weapons. If you do any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to the police department locally within 4 hours of your release. No contact with the victims. Sorry, didn't mean to flop that. Stacy Boshu is next. (2022) CF 4601. Please tell me your name, please.
Stacy Lynn Brochu.
You were arrested, and I find probable cause for burglary of a structure, grand theft, 3rd degree, and criminal mischief. Do you need a lawyer from the public defender's office to help you with your case?
Yes.
All right, I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. I'll stay the bond on count 1, on count 2, 150, count 3, 150, for a new total of $3,800. You are not to return to the scene of the crime, and you have no contact with any victims or witnesses.
Okay, Speaker. I don't have that kind of money to buy. I was just wondering, because I am from Daytona Beach, I have $90 in my account. Is there any way I can bond out with that to go and start this program at a recovery house in Daytona Beach? I was just starting to talk to the lady from the SMART program, from the jail there.
Okay, so I'm understanding what you're saying. Why don't you confer with your attorney and see what he has to say? But I am aware that her last conviction was a drug conviction, and she has 4 prior FTAs. So defense, I'll give you a moment to speak with your client.
Your Honor, we would ask for a reduction on count one. As our client stated, that is all the money she has. And she's assured me that she will show up for court when necessary, and that program is, she's going to be working to enter that program up in Daytona.
Corrections, can she do PTR with drug testing?
Ask you a question, man. What is that? 'Cause I did this stuff, come off of Suboxone also, myself. I didn't want to be on no maintenance. So,
No, Your Honor, she didn't qualify.
What says the state on a reduction from what I already ordered?
Your Honor, you've already reduced 2 and 3 significantly. And the state is concerned about, as you previously stated, her 4 failures to appear, which her last was recent, multiple probation violations, a recent conviction, and as she stated, she's intending to go back to Daytona Beach, so no ties to this community in general.
do you guys have a program here that will help me?
I'm going to deny your request for a bond reduction, and there might be some services. I'm just not sure with what COVID, what restrictions there are. You can consult with your attorney. Good luck to you. Anthony Burnside. Are you Mr. Burnside?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're here for felony charges in case 2022 CF 4606AO. You were arrested and I find probable cause for possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver with a weapon, specifically a firearm, and count 2, possession of cannabis. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender to help you. On count 1, I'm going to reduce the bond to $12,000. State the bond on count 2. You're not to possess any weapons, nor are you to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or have any drug paraphernalia. Thank you. The next person I'm addressing is Quintillo Guzman. Good afternoon, Mr. Guzman.
Good afternoon.
Public Defender's Office, do you already represent him on this case?
Yes.
Yes. 2022 CT 12311. So it sounds like you're aware that you have a public defender. Sir, you missed a court date to address a charge of grand theft motor vehicle. You're now being held at no bond. The Public Defender's Office is aware that you're in custody. Thank you, Mr. Guzman.
Thank you.
Jeffrey Lee Hawk. Good afternoon, Mr. Hawk. I'm going to, do you need a public defender to help you with all of your cases?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to go through, I have two different case numbers, rather. In case number 2022 CF 4597, you were arrested for carjacking. Count 2, fleeing and attempting to elude with lights and sirens activated. And count 3, resisting an officer without violence. I do not have probable cause for the carjacking case. You'll be stayed at no bond. I'll reset your case till tomorrow. Your attorney can explain why I'm doing that. On counts 2 and 3, you are entitled to a bond, and I do have probable cause. Based on your criminal history and the facts of the case, on the fleeing and attempting to elude, I'm setting your bond at $10,000. On the resisting officer without violence, I'll modify that to $100. In case number 2022 CT 2239AO, you were arrested and you're here for a charge of driving with license suspended with knowledge. Based on the number of priors you have, I'm modifying that bond to $2,500. I find probable cause. So we'll see you back tomorrow, Mr. Hawk. State, you have 24 hours to perfect on that.
Yes, sure.
Thank you. Ami James. 2022 CT 4595AO. I'll appoint a public defender, defense counsel. How do you want me to proceed?
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
I find probable cause. Thank you. Stay the bonds. 2022 CF 4163, James Johnson. 2022 CF 3515AO, 2022 CT 422AO. Are you Mr. Tyrone Johnson?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Mr. Johnson, would you like a public defender to help you with your cases?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll go ahead and appoint them to assist you. You're here for a charge of grand theft. It's a felony charge. The allegations are that it was between $750 but under $5,000. Then you also have a charge of no valid driver's license. On both of these cases, State, do you mind if I follow bond schedule on the felony?
You asked if I mind if you follow the bond schedule?
It's gonna be a reduction.
No, Your Honor, no objection.
All right, on the grand theft, I'm gonna modify the bond to $1,500. I did consider, your failures to appear in prior cases. And on the no valid DL, I'll modify that bond to $100, so your total bond is $1,600. No contact with any victims or witnesses.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And yes, no return to any Lowe's stores,
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
victim store? Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I have a PC challenge on the next case,
Are you talking about on a bike?
on the bike.
Okay, let's go ahead and call it up formally. Sir, what's your name?
Monty Milbauer, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Monty Milbauer.
What happened to Jonathan Luck?
Jonathan.
Hold on, I'm talking to the officers. We'll take Monty Mulbauer.
Okay.
2022 CF 4610. Sir, you were arrested for possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver with a firearm and possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. Sir, do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Is it like for the cases that'll be coming up moving forward, or just for today that the question pertains to?
Does he have other cases?
No, I'm saying for like the future like court cases that'll
No,
be
I mean,
scheduled.
the public defender will remain on your case unless you hire another attorney.
After,
Look at the paperwork and you do qualify for their services. Do you want one?
yeah, I would like a public.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. I find probable cause for possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver with a weapon and possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. State, I don't think he has any history. What's your position on monetary bond?
Your Honor, state has no objection to him being on PTR or PTR with a much lower bond, given that Mr. Mulbauer was cooperative with law enforcement, as well as has very little, no criminal history.
Defense, why don't you confer with your client and tell me how much bond is a reasonable bond?
Yes, Your Honor, just a moment. Your Honor, we would just request a low monetary bond. I believe his affidavit says
What is
something.
a low monetary bond?
Well, in the case before this on the same chart, I think you dropped it down to 12,000, but that was a different case history or a different history. On this case, I think perhaps
Lower amount of marijuana?
it wasn't a lower amount of marijuana. It was a different client with different history.
I know what you're saying.
So as he does qualify for pretrial release, I would ask for a monetary bond of $2,500 and then $100 on the subsidiary, but no pretrial release.
On count one, I'm setting bond at $7,500 plus pretrial release. On count two, I'll do straight pretrial release. Mr. Mullenbauer, here are the conditions of your release. You're not to possess, use, or consume any illegal drugs or have any drug paraphernalia, nor are you to have any weapons. If you own any weapons, they do need to be surrendered to law enforcement within 2 hours of your release from jail. And that includes working or non-working firearms. Thank you, Mr. Mulbauer. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, ma'am. So,
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I request 30 days prior to a test with pretrial release so that our
Yes,
client
I'll
can
give him
get
30
clean?
I'll give him 30 days. Testing will begin anytime after May 26th.
Thank you, Your
That
Honor.
was all I need, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, you ordered RUAs?
I didn't order it, but
Oh, I say, because
sounds like
they don't
defense.
automatically do it if you don't order it. So if you didn't order it, then we don't.
Yeah, go ahead and strike that. I'm just putting him on straight pretrial release with those conditions.
I thought it was automatic.
No,
My apologies.
just gotta pay attention. I missed that too. What's your name? I'm sorry, what is it?
Tyler Rhodes.
Give me just one moment. What happened to Randy Phillips?
Bond.
Randy Phillips bonded? Okay. Mr. Rhodes, sorry for the wait. I'm gonna be addressing a number of cases for you. Does he have bonds
Yes, ma'am.
for, his,
Honestly, excuse me, the
hold on, I'm
one,
talking to corrections.
I'm sorry.
What do you know about the Hernando and Columbia County cases? While they're looking something up for me, Mr. Rhodes, do you need a lawyer from the Public Defender's Office to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes, I requested one earlier.
Okay, I'll appoint a public defender.
In Your Honor, for his Hernando County, there is a warrant for grand theft auto with a bond of $2,000. And for his Columbia County, he has a bond for FTA driving while license suspended revoked with a $1,000 bond.
State, do you have a global, I mean, he has a 2020 case for registration, which is similar to what we're facing now, plus the cannabis and he has a DWLS. If he pleads to the DWLS in cannabis, any objection to dismissing the 2020 cases? And I'll impose late fees?
Oh, I can't play out the felony today.
I'm sorry, what?
I can't play out the felony today.
What? I couldn't hear you.
I can't play out the felony to us today. It's not a misdemeanor to us.
He doesn't have a felony. Not on the felony. I'm talking about the two misdemeanors. He does have a felony. I'm sorry, you were correct. He does have a felony failure to appear, but he has two new arrests for cannabis and DWLS.
I have offers for his two out on bond, the registration and the no attached tags.
What are the offers?
Withhold on both, Your Honor. Credit time served. And then I see the failure to appear, and then the felony dwellis is here for today.
The defense counsel, if you can follow, he's not going to be released because of Hernando and Columbia's cases. He has 2020 CT 2635 and 2020 CT 2636. I'll do a withhold one court cost because they stem from the same incident. In cases 2022 MM 2655 and 2020 CT 2230AO. I'll do a withhold on the marijuana and an adjudication credit time served on the DWLS and do just one court cost on that. I can't do any, he does have a bond on the petty theft that he failed to appear for. I'll give you a moment to speak with him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State any objection to that?
No, Your Honor. And then just staying the bond on the
Yeah, on the
felony dwellis.
felony. And I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying. I wasn't trying to take a plea on that one.
No, it's okay. That's all I had in front of me, so I didn't see anything else.
We would have a hold on those other two county cases, Hernando and Columbia, is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, after conferring with Mr. Rhodes, I believe he just wishes to have bond on the current charges. And due to the, I don't believe he was ever He informed me that he wasn't arrested at all in the other out on bond cases, so theoretically he's not out on bond. He was just asked to appear and then failed to appear.
He was arrested on it. He was arrested on an FTA for those out on bond cases on February of 2021, and then he was arrested in Seminole County.
But did they initially start as out on bond? So he was
No, but
initially
he-
brought in out on bond and then failed to appear?
No, he gave a notice to appear, he failed, came in on those, bonded, and then Seminole County picked him up again, and he bonded.
So he's set for sentencing in June.
Honestly, that's for the cases over here.
But it starts off as a UTC. It's equivalent to a traffic notice to appear. He missed his court date. They reset him. They issued a capias. The capias was executed, so he was arrested on it.
Your Honor, we would still request bonds on the current cases, and then if you're inclined to act on the out on bond cases, just double the bond.
No, I'm going to revoke his bond. These are considered now new arrest. In 2022 CT 2636AO, you were out on, and 2635 and 2636. I'm going to revoke your bond in both of those cases and hold you at no bond. I'll stay the bond on the possession of cannabis. I'll stay the bond on the driving with license suspended. I'll stay the bond in felony case number 2021 CF 7769, and that'll remain at $1,000. The orange sheets are revoked, zero bond. Everything else is stayed. Thank you.
That's for the stuff that send it in over there, okay?
What's your name, sir?
Corey Errol Roberts.
Mr. Roberts, you're here for attempted burglary of a conveyance. I do find probable cause. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint a public defender. And I'll stay the bond at $1,000, no return to the scene of the crime.
Thank you.
Luis Santiago. Jesus Torres. Case number 2019 CF 772480. Good afternoon, sir. Tell me what your name is.
Jesus Torres.
Mr. Torres, you already have a lawyer from the public defender's office. You missed your court date. It was relating to competency issues. So you're now being held at no bond. Defense, I would like to go ahead and reset this case so I can put him on a conditional release hearing. How long will it take you to get him scheduled for competency?
I can send an email to his attorney after court today.
Okay, so how about we reset this case for Thursday? Will that be enough time?
I think absolutely, yes.
Reset for Thursday. Evaluation status hearing. And just a note on the KPS, the judge said that he's to be conditional release to be evaluated immediately. I know that that's not necessarily doable, but once I know that he has an evaluation set. Or if your office wants to keep him in so he can be evaluated in the alternative. What's your name, sir?
Sanchez Williams.
Mr. Williams, good afternoon. You're here in 2020 CF 4612AO. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
As of right now, yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. Sir, I'm going to find probable cause on possession of cocaine, destruction of evidence, and resisting officer without violence. I'm going to stay the bond. Your total bond is $1,250. Sir, you do have reporting requirements as a sexual offender. You have 1 business day to comply with all reporting requirements. A public defender can assist you. Thank you. Sir, what's your name? What? Benjamin, what's your last name?
Smith. Smith.
State, this is a recall. We thought he'd bonded. Same thing with defense. Do you need an interpreter?
What is that?
I can't hear you.
What is that?
Do you need a lawyer?
He speaks English.
Do you need a lawyer, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're here for a charge of trespass after warning it occurred at a shake and stake. I do find probable cause. I'll reduce your bond to $100. State, do you have a plea offer in the alternative?
Your Honor, can I have a case number?
Sure, it's 2022 MM 2659AO.
Yes, I did convey an offer for Mr. Smith of an adjudication, credit time served, no return.
I have a moment to confer, Your Honor. Your Honor, may counsel approach?
Give me a moment. Yes. No. you need anything. Mr. Smith, how long have you been living in Orlando?
I think maybe, currently just about, maybe like a month. But I mean, I've been here before. I was staying in Brevard County with my mom. Prior to that,
If you left jail, who would pick you up? How would you get home?
I don't know.
Where would you live?
I have a camper trailer that I'm working on, but then I'm trying to get in touch with my mom, but she won't answer.
So I'm a little confused about things. Your bond was $500 for a charge of trespass. Did you post that? Who did you call to post that bond?
I didn't call anyone.
Okay, did you post the bond?
I think, I don't know. I think so.
It was initially put in as a cash bond, but it was released at 11:39, and I sent out an email stating was he still bonding, and they stated he was not still bonding. So I don't know.
He had $500 on him?
I believe maybe someone probably came and tried to pay it for him, or I don't know. It just says cash bond.
If he posted a bond, he's not legally supposed to be held here, so I'm not sure why he's here. Let's go ahead and reset this case for tomorrow. I do find probable cause. So there's no conflict in the paperwork. I'm going to stay the original bond amount at $500. We'll see him again tomorrow. See if there's any mental health issues. I'm not sure if he posted bond. If he posted a cash bond, if he needs to leave or be released. All right. Thank you, defense counsel. Thank you, corrections. Okay. Recall on 2022 CF 4593AO. Jonathan Michael Luke, corrections, he refused. He did fill out an application for the public defender, so I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. Defense, did you want to be heard on any of these counts?
Yes, on the fleeing and eluding charge, looking through the statute, it does indicate that it is in a vehicle. The fleeing and eluding takes place in a vehicle. Reading the statute's definition of vehicle, I believe it's anything that can be used on a highway. So my question or my concern is a bicycle on a highway classified as a vehicle under the definitions under the statute?
Remember, a highway doesn't necessarily mean I-4. That's technically an interstate. Colonial, Highway 50 is a highway, for example. And there have been convictions for DUI on a bicycle too. I'm just going to double check the language of this, and I'll give state a chance to respond.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.